BlockFi files a motion to return frozen crypto to wallet users. They were one of the first victims of the FTX contagion. They suspended withdrawals and requested users to not deposit to BlockFi wallets or interest accounts on November 11th. And that's when they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And they are now requesting authority from a U.S. bankruptcy court to allow users to withdraw assets that are currently locked up on the platform. So maybe some people's Christmas or holiday will be made. I would like to get Jen's take on this story.
Imagine having your holidays made by just getting what was rightfully yours back. That's like a sad holiday, but this is the state of the industry right now. I mean, okay, so we learned that BlockFi was filing for bankruptcy 3 to 4 weeks ago. I think this is great news that so quickly we're hearing that they are trying to allow customers to withdraw funds. I know a lot of people this morning on Twitter was comparing this to Celsius, which is, I think it's been 5 or 6 months now. We still haven't heard anything from Celsius. We don't know what's going on in their bankruptcy filing. And so I think this is good news for customers, like a little glimmer of hope as we head to the end of the year. But at the end of the day, that those funds are rightfully theirs. BlockFi should have enough funds to pay them back. It's so sad that we're at the state where this is something that we should be celebrating, but I hope that the customers get it back. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, if memory serves me right, about 80% of their funds are going to be returned to BlockFi or potentially returned to them, right? So we're still in Chapter 11, so this has to go through the trustees, which means that things can drag on quite a little bit. And then also you have to wonder, is it in kind and the assets themselves, or is it in dollars? And we still have to know that information. So we'll look forward to that info as we get it. I want to go back to the Chapter 11 filing itself, though. We know that BlockFi liquidated most of its assets on its books into dollars, about $250 million worth of assets. So it's across everything they held. And then they said that they had about liabilities between $1 billion and $10 billion. That's because the form for the SEC, when you're going through Chapter 11, you more or less have to pick a wide range of liabilities. And the larger ticker box there you have to click is between 1 and 10 billion. So it doesn't give a lot of accuracy in terms of people who are looking for information about a Chapter 11 filing. That being said, it does seem like a lot of people who are involved with this are going to get a lot of their money back, which is a big win. It also shows a little bit of strength for US-based companies, right? Like BlockFi was a company that got hit by a lot of different state securities offices for offering products in those states. And now if we're looking at the state of BlockFi and its ability to give back a decent amount of portions of funds to investors versus something like FTX, which was parked off US shores, operating in the Bahamas, which is more than likely not going to give a lot of assets back to people. I think we can say that there's somewhat of a win for regulators here, the fact that they are going to be able to give back a decent amount of money to people who had invested in the company. Wendy, I'm going to throw it up to you for your take.
I want to ask Jen this question. Do you think that these cases are going to help set precedent for other cases in the future? And is this, even though these are terrible things that have happened with all the companies filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, do you think this will help kind of push some sort of clarity on the different procedures that the traditional bankruptcy courts are going to have to use and apply it to crypto? Because let's face it, there's a lot of unknowns when it comes to crypto due to the volatility.
I think we will see precedent set when it comes to bankruptcy court, but I think more importantly, we're going to see regulators looking at what happens and how customers are affected coming out of bankruptcy court. And we're going to see a lot of changes well, I don't know if we're going to see this. This is just my opinion. I think we're going to see changes to, terms and conditions. Who is seen as a creditor when it comes to these exchanges? What happens to customer funds? So I think that's what we're going to get out of this. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think I don't know if we're going to get precedent setting in bankruptcy court. I'm just rambling now, but yeah, those are my thoughts.
Our law expert.
I don't know.
Yeah, I hope people get their money back. It sucks that they trusted a company that went belly up, and hopefully they get their funds back. Hopefully everyone affected by Celsius, FTX, all the ones, hopefully they all get some of that money back. But again, I hope the lesson is learned that some of these centralized platforms aren't always worth trusting your money with.